On the night of the royal ball, the entire kingdom watched in shock because the king walked past every princess and held the hand of a servant girl. In a grand kingdom surrounded by mountains lived a young king named Adrian. Every royal family wanted their daughter to marry him, but the king never seemed interested. He spent most of his time walking quietly in the palace gardens, and that's where he first noticed Elena, a simple girl who worked in the palace kitchens. She never looked at him like a king. She spoke to him like a normal person. And somehow, the king liked that. Days turned into weeks. The king started visiting the kitchen garden more often. Sometimes they talked about life. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they just sat quietly under the trees. For the first time in his life, the king felt free. But love between a king and a servant was something the kingdom would never accept. One day the royal council found out. The ministers were furious. A king could not marry a servant, they said. They arranged a grand royal ball. Princesses from many kingdoms arrived. The king was expected to choose a royal bride, but the king already knew who he loved. The ballroom was filled with music and royal guests. One by one, princesses walked toward the king. But he didn't choose anyone. Instead, the king walked out of the royal hall. Everyone followed him in confusion. And outside, standing quietly near the palace gate, was Elena, the servant girl. The king walked to her and held her hand. The royal council shouted in anger, "If you marry her, you will lose the throne." The crowd went silent. Everyone waited for the king's answer. The king looked at Elena and then at the crown in his hand. Slowly, he placed the crown on the palace steps. "I would rather live as a man with love than a king without it." Years later, people often saw a simple couple living in a small village near the mountains. They had no palace, no crown, but they always looked happy, because sometimes true love is worth more than an entire kingdom. If you were the king, would you choose love or the crown? Comment below.